Without further ado, I want to turn it over. I'll introduce each of the candidates again. So we'll start off with the school board with Justin Drahota.
Thanks, Matt. Again, my name is Justin Drahota. Over the last year, we've seen a lot of things that concern us as parents in the school, and came to realize that our school board is made up of 6 members. 5 of the members don't have children that go to that school. So they are making decisions that impact us as parents, and we don't really have much say in it. So that's one of the main reasons that I'm running, is that I want parent representation on the board, so that, you know, we have a lot of supporters that are going to these board meetings, awesome people. And we're watching what's going on in the schools now. We're paying closer attention, and we're going to these meetings, and we're letting these people know, and the board members know, that, you know, we need to be heard, and we're not. We're being heard, but we ain't being responded to. You know, we don't get messages back. We don't get phone calls back. And it's just concerning. I don't know why. You know, time and time again, we bring up issues that are going on, and it just doesn't seem like we're being heard. So there's the divisive issues, and then there's just other issues that are going on too. We just need to be more aware as parents, grandparents, of what is going on in our schools, okay? You watch the news, and it's crazy. You see terrible stuff, and you're like, is that going on here? Is that, you know, what's going on? Well, you just got to be more informed. You got to go to these board meetings and see what's going on, and look at the agendas. They're posted on the Norris website every month. Look at the agendas, and then look at the meeting minutes. The meeting minutes will tell you how these board members are voting. So if you see an issue that's a concern of you, or that concerns you, you can look on these and see how they're voting. And that's very important, because you know how you're being represented. So that is one of the main reasons I'm running for the school board, is that I want parent representation on the board. And I want to be able to listen to the parents and respond to them. Okay, that's my main thing that I want. I want to be able to give answers and tell parents, you know, address their concerns. So I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. I appreciate the support. Tell people that you know in this district that they need to vote. May 10th, you need to vote in this primary. I was explaining to people of how the primary works in Norris, in the district. It's a little different. It's kind of weird. We're made up of 6 wards. And if you look up here on this map, and you can find this on the Norris website, it tells you how the wards are made up. This is Ward 2 that we're in right now. If we walked right across the street, we'd be in a different ward. Ward 2 is the only ward that will have a primary, because we have 4 people running in that race. I'm running to try to unseat the president of the school board. She's been on the school board for 26 years.
Time to go.
So, you know, we need fresh leadership. Another member's been on the board for 30 years. Aaron Wubbles will be running against him in the general. You need to vote for Aaron. You need to vote for Justin. Good conservative members on the school board. Again, if you get a chance, if you don't know how the wards work, come look at the board. I'll be happy to explain it to you. And Ward 2 members are the only ones that vote on the ward for the primary. For the general, it's basically an at-large. So if I make it past the primary, get into the general, all 6 wards will vote. So we've got 10,000 people, 10,700 people in the district. 6,000 are registered voters. 4,000 voted last on the 2020 election. So we need to bring more people to vote. You know, there's 2,000 people out there that aren't voting. So, and it's just, you know, they got to know who you're voting for. The school board race is independent, or it's nonpartisan. So when you go to the ballot, you're not going to see your party listed on there. You don't know who you're voting for. Last election, I had no idea who I was voting for. It's a nonpartisan race. They were all unopposed. They've ran unopposed for many years. This year, they know something. They're like, whoa, people are running against us now for the first time, a couple of them, first time in decades. So that's what we're doing. Thank you.
Our school boards is where so much of the social battle in America is happening, right?
Yes.
It's through schools that agendas are being pushed and stuff like that. So getting local school board members like Justin Drahota elected, like Aaron Wubbles. Aaron just joined us in the back. Aaron, would you mind saying?
Aaron is in Ward 4, right? Ward 4 So wards 2, 4, and 6 will be voted on in the general. Ward 2 is only in the primary. But like he said, school board races are some of the most important races because that's where it all starts. That's where it all starts with our kids.
And I can attest that as well. I was briefly on the school board in Lincoln. The kind of junk that we saw coming through the school board there, we need people willing to stand on the front lines and be there. So, Justin Drahota. Next, I'd like to invite Travis to come up and speak and just share with us a little bit about his race for the Hickman City Council.
I think I've met most of you. If I haven't, please come up, introduce yourself to me, as you can see. So I've got these business cards. I wanted to hand these out to you guys. On there, it's got my 3 top priorities. You'll notice that they're not very specific, and that's by design. They're specific and they're not. And here's why. I was actually just talking to Dean here. The reason for that is because if you know someone's values, even without getting into the specifics of the issues, you're going to know how they're going to tend to vote. So my number 1 priority in here is fiscal responsibility and accountability. Okay. So, and the last one in here is planning and execution. They really go hand in hand. Right now, I'm actually the commander of a military police unit that just got back from overseas, and the biggest reason, or the biggest lesson that I've learned as a commander is planning and execution. Okay. What do we need to do in the future? Not right now, but what needs to happen in the future? Obviously a term, we've got Walt Nelson is here, who's a current council member. Okay, so their term is 4 years. So we shouldn't be looking at things in a 4-year term, we should be looking in 10, 20-year terms. And the reason I bring up the commander piece is because right now is a great example. I'm actually working on the plans for 2023 and 2024 for my current unit. I come out of command in 2 months. I'm not going to see the execution of those plans, but the point is what's best for the unit? What's best for that next commander? That's what I want to bring to the table is planning execution for the future of Hickman, how to move us forward. We should be growing. I was just talking to these guys right here, the Allens, that Hickman should be growing. We need to be doing it responsibly and doing it fiscally responsibly. I think a great example of that is the pool that failed, what was it, a couple years ago, right? I think we've got young kids. We've got 2 young boys in elementary and 1 in high school. A pool is a great thing that this community would benefit from, but let's do it responsibly. I don't think we need a $5 million pool here, right? Where we're going to lose, the average pool loses $60,000 every year in operating costs. That's actually more than our operating budget for parks and recs altogether. So let's look at how to do this responsibly. I don't think anyone disagrees that we don't need a pool. We can use a pool, let's do it responsibly. And the thing that's in here also is representation and accountability, or representation and accessibility, excuse me. That's why I want everyone to take one of these, because it's got my email on the back here. I want people to talk to me. I want people to communicate with me. One of the big things I want to bring to office is on these board meetings, or the city council meetings on these Tuesday nights, let's have a conversation. I'd love to go down here to New Day an hour before the city council meeting and ask you to come in and have a cup of coffee with me. Sit down with me, talk with me. I think a lot of you guys are in business. You know that most business gets done on the golf course or over a cup of coffee, things like that. You don't have to go to a formal setting of a council meeting to get things done. Let's sit down, have a cup of coffee, and talk about things. Last point I want to make is really about love. I'm not running because I have a problem and I can't stand Walt Nelson. I think Walt's doing a great job right now, okay? I really do. But what I love is the city of Hickman, and I want to move it forward. I'm not running because I hate or can't stand the current city council. I'm running because I love the city of Hickman and want to move it forward in a way that I think we need. One of my favorite speeches, I started with this when I started and met with these guys. One of my favorite speeches in history is one by Teddy Roosevelt, and it's the man in the arena, right? And it says, if you haven't listened to it, I'd encourage you to get on YouTube and look this speech up. It's one of my favorite speeches in history. And it says, it's not the critic who counts, it's the man in the arena. And I'm wanting to get in the arena. It's not enough just to sit there and we can all sit and say, well, I wish they would have voted this way. I wish we voted this way. Let's get in and do something about it. Yep. That's why I'm asking for your vote. Grab one of these cards and let's have a conversation. Thanks.
I really appreciate your willingness to run for city council because we need good leaders there too, right? Like we need good leaders at every level of our government. So anyways, next up, we'll invite Tracy. Tracy, come on up. Tracy is running for the Lancaster County Treasurer, which is a county-wide race. So some of these other races, you may not actually live in Hickman, you may not actually live in his ward quite yet, but he's in a race where if you live anywhere in Lancaster County, you get a chance to vote for him. It's a position that's near and dear to my heart. I tried to run for it a few years ago and lost as well, but let's give a round of applause to Tracy.
Well, thank you. It's great being here. My name's Tracy Rayfier. I'm a financial advisor for nearly 30 years and a fiduciary, as well as a small business owner. I built Always Safe Storage in Eagle from the ground up. So, point taken, I know a budget and I know how to stick to a budget. Instead of raising the levies to meet the budget, that budget should meet the levy, right? There's infrastructure problems that we have in our county. 28 bridges are out. And the saddest thing is that outside the city limits of Lincoln, you, the people of Hickman, Waverly, and the surrounding communities don't get the just respect that you deserve. The reasons for that, as far as Lincoln's policies directly influence you, but you feel like you don't have a voice. And I want to change that. Let me be your voice, and I'll help facilitate that conversation to either the county commissioners or higher up even yet. The inefficiencies, a lot of people don't know that the county treasurer runs the DMV. Now these are state unfunded mandates that come down from the state that the county must adhere to, and that's fine, except we don't do it very efficiently. So studies have shown out there's older 92 and 93-year-olds waiting in line for 2 and 3 hours at a time for a 15-minute job. The employees are unhappy. And how do we know that the employees are unhappy? Because I have a Republican opponent that works for the DMV. If she was happy or had a relationship with the current treasurer, she would go to the treasurer and say, hey, I would like these things changed. But that relationship doesn't exist and won't exist. What we need is somebody from the outside, a business owner who knows how to get things done. I talked to the Sarpy County Treasurer. His name is Tracy as well, Trace Jones. I asked Trace, when you first came into the DMV at Sarpy, what was the time? 78 minutes was his time when he first started, and that was 9 months ago. Recently, he put in a system called Qless. Basically, it's a kiosk. You walk in, give the first name, aisle 11 or window 10 is open. His wait time today are 10 minutes. That's a county that has 200,000, Sarpy, right? We have 350,000 in our county, but we wouldn't know the times. There's no way of tracking the times because our system's not set up like that. You would literally have to sit there with a stopwatch and click, click, click to understand as far as our exact times. We suspect that on average, not every day, we suspect that the average wait time is 90 minutes. And the reason why we use that number is because we have 350,000, right? Now you can do a lot of stuff online, but the technology is there. Partnered up with the state and in the county, there is no reasons not to run a more efficient treasurer office. So I want to bring transparency, I want to bring efficiency and professionalism back to the county seat of the treasurer, and I want your help. So please, vote for me. I brought signs. Go to tracyfortreasurer.com. And on Thursday, I have an event inside Lincoln at Clock Tower, 5 to 7. Come on in. We'll have some hors d'oeuvres. We'll have Bob Bohr, Secretary of State, and myself and a few other candidates speaking. So again, I hope I gain your vote. You want to talk or visit, by all means, take one of my cards and get a hold of me. And I thank you.
I'll just say something real quick about the county treasurer. So every time you pay your property taxes, that goes through the treasurer's office. Anytime you need to go to relicense your car, that's where you're waiting in line, is at the treasurer's office. So that's an important role. It's a very important role. So thank you, Tracy, for putting your name out there. I'd now like to introduce to you Chris Beckenbaugh, the flower of tonight. The rose, maybe, is a better term. I'll let you take it away from here.
My name's Chris Beckenbaugh, and I've been a resident of Lincoln my entire life. And it's now time for me to serve in office. This is not a particularly partisan office, although for some reasons it's elected as either a Democrat or a Republican. My opponent is Senator Matt Hansen. Senator Hansen is term limited out and is looking for his next job. I have had many jobs in my career, and I'm ready to serve. That's a different mindset. What does the county clerk do? It's all outlined on the back of my card, because who knows what the county clerk does, right? County clerk does property valuation protests. We don't do them in our office. We work with the county commissioners, and we hire a group of appraisers. Thank you, Tracy. And they work through those property valuation protests. We process applications and licenses. So when you come to get a wedding license, or you need to find a marriage license in Lancaster County, you'll be coming to that office or working with us online to find what you're looking for. We handle the payroll and the payments for the county. So all the bills come into the clerk's office and we pay those bills. Now, it should be just they submit the bill, we pay them. But I'm thinking it's time to ask some questions, don't you think? About what bills are getting paid and how much and why. And we may have to pay the bill in front of us, but that doesn't mean I can't raise the question and ask about it going forward. And then county board proceedings. So the county clerk's office runs the agenda and the minutes for the county commissioners. So it's a really important role that we have. There's 11 staff in that office. I've supervised 75 people. My opponent has supervised a legislative office. So I have the experience, and that's what it says on this card on a day I was looking really good. So all you have to remember is Chris for clerk, okay? Appreciate your vote in November.
Like I said at the beginning, I'm Matt Schulte. I'm running for the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners. Sometimes you'll hear it called commissioners, sometimes you'll hear it called the board. But there's three reasons that I'm running for school, not for the school board, for the county board. Number one, I said this from the beginning. Listen, if we want change, then we need change. I'm running against somebody who's been in this office for 20 years, and the patterns have been set. Unfortunately, that person has moved more and more liberal, and I think it's just time for a good conservative voice to exist on the county board. The second reason that I'm running is that I really have experience on the board of the LPS school board, being a person who's what I call for the people. I am pro-life, pro-election security, pro-voter ID, and pro-police. We need good, solid police. We need somebody on that board. Thank you. We need somebody on the board who's going to stand up for these conservative values and really fight for them. It is different when you're on a board. Several of us are running for boards. One person cannot themselves make change. But one person themselves can make a lot of hay. We can make a lot of noise and stand up for it as the rest of the election process happens and more conservatives get elected. So I'm a for the person type of guy. The third thing is that just year after year, our property taxes go up, and the investment in infrastructure either goes down or stays the same, right? I don't need to tell you that. You guys drive 68th Street every day. You know the issues that exist in our infrastructure right here, and the amount of accidents that can happen because we don't even have a shoulder on the road, right? We need to, number one, we need to invest in infrastructure and help turn infrastructure around. Now I want to talk for a moment about property taxes. The Lancaster County budget has increased by 178% over inflation over the last 10 years. So expenditures just keep going up and up and up, and we're spending we're giving money to nonprofits and we're giving money to all these other things that just don't make sense. I think a government has really two main priorities. Number one is protect its citizens, and number two is provide for the common welfare of its citizens, right? And I think one of those main common welfare issues is infrastructure. It is public safety. And so I believe that, and that is what I will bring to the Lancaster County Board. The Lancaster County Board is by districts as well. I do have a small map. It's not near as nice as Justin's big fancy map over here. But I do have a map that shows that pretty much if you live south of Old Cheney and Lincoln all the way to Gage County, you're in this District 3. And I've talked to many of you, and I've talked to people in this district that have put up with the wind farm approval, who have fought against solar farm approval, and you know that our current representative is not listening. They are part of pushing a green agenda forward rather than thinking about what is actually appropriate here in Lincoln. I will just comment on the solar farm and the wind farm for a minute. Last spring, my wife, this is my wife, Kristen, right here. My wife and I and our kids had the chance to go on a national parks trip. And so we were out in Sequoia National Park, kind of near LA, and then we were driving to Utah, which takes you through Las Vegas. So we literally drove all the way across the Mojave Desert, from basically Los Angeles to Las Vegas. And out in the middle of the desert, you see solar farms, big solar farms. And I look at that and I go, it's the right place for solar farms. It's sunny, and no one lives there, right? It's not in someone's backyard. I am supportive of green energy if the finances make sense, and frankly, they usually don't. But I'm supportive of using green energy, but not in a place where it infringes on people's property rights, inhibits the growth of Lancaster County. I think that's what's been going on with these solar farms and wind farms here in Lancaster County.
And eminent domain will be pushed.
Yeah, eminent domain's an issue with that as well. Yeah, absolutely. So I believe we need change on our Lancaster County Board. We need a conservative voice. I have proven to be a conservative voice, and I'm telling you what I'm going to stand for, and I will stand for those and voice these things right there on the county board. So Matt Schulte, you're running for Lancaster County Board of Commissioners. Would appreciate your vote this spring.
You saw these on the table when you came in. Why are they important? Couple of things. This is all of your Republican candidates in the county, okay? And we have gone to great lengths to talk to these candidates and encourage them and support them because you want to vote for people who are going to win, right? So that's the first. I'm going to ask you for 5 things tonight, okay? First one is to vote. Please vote in the primary. Please vote in the general election. And please vote Republican. Thank you very much. Number 2, we need your dollars. I am in a race against a well-funded person. I don't know what funding's going to look like because these people haven't been challenged down here in a very long time. We don't know how much money's going to get spent in these races. But pick a candidate and support them with your dollars if you're able. Don't take money away from your church, but give money to a candidate, okay? We need you to go out and knock on doors. When you see a plea on social media that Matt's going to be knocking doors, or Justin, or Travis, or Tracy's going to be knocking doors, if they're coming to your area, join them. Because having someone with you that remembers where the car is, because if you get too far, it gets to be a challenge, but is also there just as an encouragement as you're walking along the way. It gets exhausting knocking on doors. It's also a great fitness plan, and it costs you nothing. So, I'll get there, Mary. Social media. If you can't knock on doors, if you're not able to write a check, or better yet, do all of these things, when you see a candidate that you're supporting, go on their social media and like and share whatever they have posted. There's going to be photos from tonight, possibly some video. Like it, share it, and spread the word for us. And then yard signs. Joe and Sharon Murray live right out here by the school, and I just got a beautiful offer that I can put up a sign in their yard. I know what that means to a candidate to not have to ask, hey, can I put a sign in your yard? No, come to me. Come to one of these people and say, do you have yard signs? Because I want one of yours. I want to stand up for you publicly in my neighborhood, okay? So pick up one of these, okay? Take it with you. In fact, take several and share them, because I was talking earlier with a new angry mama bear that I just met. How many of you are here tonight because you're an angry mama bear? Thank you. Thank you. We applaud those people. Take a stack of these. We can get you more, and give them to your friends who you know are going to call or email you in the next couple of weeks and say, gosh, who should I vote for? Mark this up. Mark this up and put it in their hands. Okay, speaking of putting things in people's hands, we are privileged tonight to have our friend Mary Hilton here with us, and she is the head of our Neighborhood Captains program. What's a neighborhood captain? Oh, yes, we should applaud that. It's warm, so I'm trying to go quickly for all of you. Yes, thank you. Neighborhood captains, you're gonna get assigned a precinct. How many of you are already neighborhood captains? I am. Got a handful of, there's one in the back. Thank you very much. Thank you for popping that door. We have one in Roca. I'd love to have some more down here in Hickman. All it is saying, I'm gonna go out and talk to these voters a couple times a year. You're gonna get an easy list to work from. You even get to leave them a gift, which right now says, vote May 10 and November 8. Republicans vote in every election. Yes, we do. We're gonna vote in every election. Mary will be happy to talk with you tonight, get you a list. She has lists. So, we need you to volunteer with your candidate before you leave here tonight. Make a commitment, swap a phone number, okay? Go out and like and share their social media, and then commit yourself, put it on your calendar, May 10. May 10. April 19, the Lancaster County Republican Party is having their, I'm sorry, that's not the right day. 21st. They're having their county party meeting right here in Hickman at the town hall, the city community center. There will be snacks, there will be a time to talk with candidates. In fact, there's going to be lots more candidates there that night. So please join us on Thursday the 21st at 6:45. Come down early, we'll be there, okay? Thank you so much for being here tonight. Vote red.
Like Chris said, we'd love to have your encouragement, love to have your help, because it takes a lot of votes to win an election. So talk to any of the 5 of us, grab some signs, grab some stuff, grab a few more appetizers. Thank you so much for coming tonight.